The evening had already been going well when Theo first saw her. He was 26, 3 weeks into his new position as catering supervisor at the Meridian Concert Hall, and tonight's event was the largest the hall had hosted all season, the annual benefit gala for the Whitmore Children's Hospital Foundation. Theo's job was the corridor between the service kitchen and the main reception floor, a narrow stretch of marble and gold-trimmed molding that the hall's head of front of house, Mr. Gerald Frost, had made very clear was not to be used as a thoroughfare by anyone in a catering apron. Frost had said this twice. He had a way of saying things twice. The woman came through the main entrance at 7:15, moving with the unhurried ease of someone who had every right to be exactly where she was. She wore a deep burgundy gown, her hair pinned back cleanly, a small clutch tucked under one arm. She was looking across the atrium toward the double doors of the reception floor, where the other 500 guests were already deep into conversation and champagne when Gerald Frost stepped in front of her. Theo watched from the mouth of the corridor. He had a tray in his hands. He did not move. "The gala is a ticketed event," Frost said. His voice was the kind of even that was not actually calm. "Catering enters through the service door. That's at the end of the south wing, to your left." The woman looked at him. A full 2 seconds passed. "I'm a guest," she said. Her voice was level. "My name is Dr. Lorraine Vance. I'm on the donor list." Frost's expression did not change. "The main floor is closed to the service staff. If you'd like to speak with your supervisor." "I don't have a supervisor here." Still level. "I'm a pediatric cardiologist at Whitmore. I've been coming this gala for 9 years. "I'm sure the kitchen has a list," Frost said. He gestured toward the south wing. "If you'll just follow the hallway around." Theo watched her look at that hallway. He watched her look back at the reception floor doors, where through the glass he could see chandelier light and the easy motion of 200 conversations. He watched her set her clutch on the small ledge beside the coat check window, open it and take out her phone. She did not argue. She did not raise her voice. She found a name in her contacts, pressed call, and stood composed in the center of the atrium, one hand resting at her side. Frost waited with the rigid patience of a man who expected her to give up. She did not give up. "Patricia," she said quietly into the phone. "It's Lorraine. I'm in the atrium. The hall's front-of-house manager has asked me to use the service entrance." A pause. "I know. I wanted you to know where I was." She ended the call. She tucked the phone back into her clutch. She looked at Frost with an expression that was not hostile and not defeated. It was simply clear. "I'm going to wait here," she said. Frost said, "Ma'am." "I'm going to wait here," she said again, and that was the end of the conversation. Theo set his tray down on the shelf inside the corridor door. He did not know why he did it. He just found that he could not make himself pick it up again. Patricia Okafor, the Foundation's chief development officer, reached the atrium in 4 minutes. Theo knew who she was. Her photograph was on every program and banner in the hall that evening. She was a small woman in her 50s, with the particular focus of someone who has spent 20 years making large things happen, and she walked through the atrium at a pace that made the marble floors feel shorter than they were. She stopped when she saw Dr. Vance standing by the coat check window. She stopped again, just briefly, when she saw Gerald Frost standing 3 feet away with his hands clasped behind his back. "Lorraine." She took Dr. Vance's hands in both of hers. "I am so sorry." "It's all right," Dr. Vance said. "I'm fine." Patricia Okafor was already turning toward Gerald Frost, and the look on her face was the kind that does not require volume to carry weight. "This is Dr. Lorraine Vance," she said. "She is a Whitmore department head. She is a 9-year Gala committee member. She is, as of last Thursday, a named endowment donor." She paused. "Evenly. The Vance Family Pediatric Cardiac Suite opens next spring." Gerald Frost's hands came apart behind his back. He said, "I wasn't. No." Patricia said, "You weren't." She let the silence hold for a beat. "Dr. Vance has attended this gala since the year the foundation launched the pediatric wing expansion. She served on the site selection committee. Her name is in the program you were handed at the door tonight under the heading Legacy Partners. I would like you to think very carefully about why you looked at her and reached the conclusion you reached." Frost said nothing. There was nothing to say. She turned back to Dr. Vance. "Come in, please. They've been saving the table closest to the stage." But Dr. Vance did not move quite yet. She stood very still for a moment, and Theo, watching from the corridor mouth, thought she was going to say something gracious, something that would let the whole scene dissolve cleanly and let everyone get back to the evening. Instead, she looked at Patricia with the same quiet directness she had shown from the beginning. "I'd like to know what happens after tonight," she said. "That's all." Patricia Okafor nodded once. "I'll call you in the morning." They walked through the reception floor doors together, and the room did not stop for them, Zod. But a few people near the entrance turned, and a few more, and Theo watched Dr. Lorraine Vance move to her table without breaking stride, her back straight, her head up, her gown catching the chandelier light the way it had always been meant to. Frost stood alone in the atrium for a moment. Then he moved toward the administrative offices without speaking to anyone. The call Patricia Okafor placed that night was not to Gerald Frost. It was to the Meridian Concert Hall's director of venue partnerships, whose office received the message at 7:42 in the evening, during the gala's keynote, and whose assistant read it aloud twice because it needed reading twice. The Whitmore Children's Hospital Foundation was formally placing its relationship with the Meridian Concert Hall under review, effective immediately. The $1.2 million endowment pledge from the Vance family was being held pending the outcome of that review. No Whitmore events would be booked at the Meridian for the foreseeable future. By 9 o'clock, the hall's director had left his own table in the mezzanine. By 10, Gerald Frost had been placed on administrative leave, pending a formal review of the evening's incident. By the following Thursday, the Meridian Concert Hall had issued a written apology to Dr. Lorraine Vance and to the Whitmore Foundation, and had submitted a proposed revision to its front-of-house protocols to the Foundation's board for review. The revision included a requirement that any guest presenting credentials at the main entrance be treated as a confirmed guest until proven otherwise, and that no assumption be made about a person's role based on appearance alone. The Vance pledge was reinstated. The suite opened on schedule the following spring. Theo did not learn most of this that night. He learned it over the following week, in pieces, the way you learn things that happen right in front of you, but that take time to fully see. What he did know, walking home after the gala, was this. He had set down his tray, and he had not picked it up, and he had watched a woman stand her ground in a marble atrium, with nothing but her composure, and her phone and the absolute truth of who she was, and she had not raised her voice once, had not needed to, had not given anyone the scene they might have been waiting for. He thought about the moment she said, "I'm going to wait here," and how there was nothing dramatic in the way she said it. No tremor, no performance. It was simply a fact, delivered plainly, and it turned out to be the most immovable thing in the room. He thought about that on the bus home. He thought about it again the next morning. He thought about what it had cost her to stand there in the middle of that atrium in that gown and wait, not because she lacked the standing to demand better, but because she had decided that her dignity was not something she was willing to spend on Gerald Frost. The Vance family pediatric cardiac suite had her name on the wall beside the door. He drove past Whitmore one afternoon just to see it. He saw it. He kept driving. It seemed like the right thing to do, to acknowledge what was there and keep moving the way she had.